My dear brothers and sisters, it's again another wonderful day that the Lord has enabled us again to see and be here again. And today I am actually following the prophet in his Pacific ministries. And we were in Fiji, Tonga, and now I'm following him again in an island that is called Tahiti. It's called Tahiti. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it very well. Tahiti or Tahiti. And this is also one of the islands that I had no idea of, but I thank God that following the prophet, I'm able actually to know these areas. At least I have an idea of these areas too. So I wanted exactly to see how members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints are in Tahiti and be able to know how actually the church is in Tahiti. And without further ado, please join me as we go through this.
After 2 weeks traveling to 7 countries, ministering and meeting with global government and faith leaders from Hawaii to Samoa, Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and Tonga, President Russell M. Nelson of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints concluded his Pacific ministry in the tropical paradise of Tahiti.
My feelings are of gratitude and of love. When you think of the outpouring of love we've received, we're just very, very grateful.
As with previous countries, President Nelson made good use of his time in the island country of French Polynesia that more than 26,000 Latter-day Saints call home.
We're one big family, and we're trying to create a pedigree chart for the entire world.
He and his wife Wendy met with the President and First Lady of French Polynesia and other government and faith leaders prior to attending the 175th anniversary of Latter-day Saint missionaries in the country.
The President of the Republic was with us from the time our plane touched down until we walked out of the arena. He didn't leave our sight. He just was so hospitable and so courteous and kind.
As an honored guest of the church, President Eduard Fritsch gave opening remarks at the commencement of the celebration to more than 12,000 members and friends of the church at the Stade Pater near Papeete and broadcast to congregations across Tahiti.
C'est en remerciement et en reconnaissance pour votre contribution citoyenne envers notre pays que j'ai grand plaisir à être à vos côtés cet après-midi.
The hour-long celebration featured youth and children performing native dances and songs for President Nelson and his guests, including familiar church songs.
They want to sing because it's their way of expressing gratitude and love for their Lord. It's really quite remarkable.
After the cultural celebration, President Nelson met with some of the youth performers.
J'avais beaucoup d'émotions quand j'ai rencontré le prophète. C'est pas tous les jours qu'on peut le voir. Ça m'a vraiment touché de pouvoir lui serrer la main. J'ai même pleuré.
C'est vraiment une merveilleuse expérience que j'ai pu avoir et que j'aurais eu dans toute ma vie.
The youth are the future of the church. They're the future of these countries. So we are very concerned about our youth. But these are very valiant spirits. I have great confidence in them.
And then it was time to be taught by a prophet of God.
Now here's a warning for you.
Et maintenant un avertissement pour vous.
There's trouble ahead.
Des jours difficiles vous attendent.
Prepare for attacks from the adversary. He will tempt you through your God-given appetites. Please protect yourself from Satan's traps.
Another historic trip for President Nelson, traveling nearly 18,000 miles and ministering to more than 94,000 people.
We see evidence that the church is really coming out of obscurity here. It's a dominant force for good.
What he's done is something quite magnificent, to come and be with the people in a way that brings the Lord's love.
This is quite humbling, my dear brothers and sisters. We can see what the prophet is doing there. Very, very humbling. And that is why it's a big example. The prophet is actually ministering to the entire world, all the saints all over, And you look at what he's doing, it's actually very difficult. Very difficult, You cannot actually be in all the countries at the same time, Very difficult. But because of the strength of the Lord that he has, and the Lord will always guide him and give him strength to go minister to the saints in different countries. And I'm really touched by the saints in Tahiti. With the love they've actually shown and the strength, and what really touches me the most is their head of state, who's also there with them and telling them, recognizing that they were actually good citizens. Latter-day Saints are always good citizens in every part of their country. And he's also recognizing that what role the church has actually played in his country. And you can see over 94,000 people gathering in a stadium, listening to the voice of the prophet. And this is actually really key, And the Lord also expects us also to do our ministering. We have to do ministering. And we can do it in a small way, as assigned by our elders quorum presidents or Relief Society president. We need exactly to do our ministering in our respective ward. And this is one of the greatest examples we can learn from the leaders of the church, more so the prophet of the church, on what exactly ministering is all about. Just being with the people and showing them their love, your love, and telling them that the Lord still loves them, and that they are not alone, that their presence is actually recognized in the church, and that is really key. That is really key. Oh, this is so wonderful to see what the church is actually growing, and I've seen really the Lord is actually moving the kingdom forward. And from what I can see is that the spirit I could feel, I could see here, it is actually the same spirit I could feel when I'm in the sacrament meeting. The church is the same all over, everywhere. It is the same everywhere. The love of the saints is just as the same as we may feel the love of the saints everywhere. And I know this is true, my dear brothers and sisters. And I say this in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. So thank you very much. God bless you, and see you next time.